Hey, what is going on, guys? This is SMV Reviews, and today we're taking a look at the newest studio album from the band Lucius, Nudes. Let's get to it. Lucius is a smaller indie pop band, and actually the two lead singers, both females, they sang backup for Roger Waters during his Us and Them tour. And when I saw Roger Waters, I did not honestly know that they were in a band. I thought they were just some random backup singers. So whenever I saw that they were coming out with an album, I definitely wanted to check it out. I had no idea. So I did give this album a listen. And this album comprises of some reimaginings of old works, some just new songs, and then some covers. And honestly, I feel like this album there's no point for it to exist. There's not really anything here that does anything different. Everything that I'm hearing here just doesn't need to exist. Most of the reimaginings sound very similar to their past work. The songs that they had already put out sound very similar to the reimaginings. Plus, these reimaginings are coming maybe 4 years after the song came out, so it's not like it's been a huge amount of time, but regardless of that, usually the original song sounds very similar. This just is a little more stripped back. For the most part, that's the case. There's one or two that aren't quite as just straightforward, but like Tempest, that's an excellent example of it really is just the reimagining is an acoustic guitar, whereas the original is an electric guitar, but almost nothing else is different. And that's just one example of what I mean. The new songs are just sound like folky and folky harmonizing songs like First Aid Kit, which I checked out earlier this year. And that album was so much better than this. Their harmonies were so much tighter, their pitches were so much more on point, and they really worked well together. And these two women, while they don't have bad voices or anything, their tone is a little weak. They often kind of slip out of key or just hit a wrong pitch. And so often we get an experience where they just don't sound quite as good. And it sounds like they're trying to replicate a similar sound to First Aid Kit, very folky, and that's okay, but they just don't do it as well. And so I think that that's another thing that just holds them back. Furthermore, the songs are repetitive. Usually the songs are 4 minutes, where the first 2 minutes are fine. I'll listen to those and think they're good. But then we get to the last two where it just repeats the chorus over and over, and it really does get repetitive. The covers, not that interesting. Nothing too interesting here. Honestly, probably the best track on this goes to Goodnight, Irene, which is a traditional song, and Roger Waters actually contributes with them, and it's very low quality, which I like and I don't like. It feels like they're just doing it kind of for the nostalgia's sake, but it does kind of fit the aesthetic of the song being a traditional song, so I'll excuse it. And it does kind of just it sounds more as if like this is just an outtake of what they've been like they were just doing while they were walking around the set for the next show or something. So I don't mind it too much. It does sound like they're just doing it just to be like, ooh, look at us, trying to tap into nostalgia. But regardless, it's fine. And I do think Roger Waters is the highlight, because he is actually the predominant factor in that song. And yet it's my favorite. It just shows that this album really did not need to exist. None of the reimaginings matter. The new songs are not that interesting, and neither are the reimaginings. And the covers are fine. I mean, there's just nothing here that's worth listening to, really. There's a cover of Jerry Rafferty's Right Down the Line. That song's alright. I actually think that theirs is alright whenever they sing it. It sounds good. It just, again, it's not like I needed this cover of a song that's already very good. I actually really enjoy that song, but just a little worse, honestly. I mean, it just, none of this needed to exist, because all of it is just not either as good as the original or just not that interesting. I mean, it really isn't. As I said, they often slip out of the right key or right pitch, and it's not like a major problem. It might be one note, and it's not like they're severely flat or severely sharp. It's just a little bit, and when you're working with harmonies, that is detrimental. You can't have that when working with harmonies. It's okay if singing lead it happens, not that it should happen a lot, but sometimes it's intentional and sometimes it works. But with harmonies, everything has a specific pitch that has to be hit, and you sometimes just hear that those pitches don't work. And the same thing works with tone. Sometimes they just hit very weird syllables, and it's very noticeable with harmonies because harmonies are supposed to go together so well, and one of them might hit a very weird tone where the other one doesn't. It really is just, it's not bad. Like, my point here is that there is a lot of not interesting, but it's not bad. It's just I don't care about this album. There's nothing here that deserves a listen because it's just pretty boring. And I understand that this album is kind of just a throwaway album. It was kind of recorded while they were on the road, and only some of them, this like 2 or 3 I think of the songs are new. We got 3 covers and the rest are reimaginings. And so I understand that it's not like this album is a full-on album, but yet it just seems like there was no real effort put into this. Most of these, as I said, the reimagining sounds very similar. It's just nothing. It does not amount to anything, and it's a very forgettable listen. Despite all that, as I've said, the first 2 minutes of some of these songs are very good. It's just once they get so repetitive and so boring, especially when all these songs are acoustic, and it stands out because a lot of them just start to sound very similar. Maybe not literally like you couldn't tell the difference, but some of them do just kind of blend together only because it's acoustic with harmonies, and that's it. So there are good parts, but they just usually beat the good parts with a hammer, and it just eventually you get tired of that too. It's unfortunate because I honestly thought that this album would be very good. They did an amazing job with Roger Waters, did excellent with doing a lot of those female vocals that were in the old Pink Floyd songs, and I really enjoyed it. It's just unfortunate that this album just doesn't seem to have had the care put into it and the real time put into it that I think it needed, because if they had just re-recorded vocals enough, they would have got those vocals down, and that would have helped the album at least some. Same thing with the reimaginings. Maybe if they'd spent more time on each one instead of just saying, okay, we need a couple more tracks. What about a song from our first album? Let's play that acoustically. If they had just spent more time, I honestly think that this album would have improved significantly. I don't hate it. I really don't, but I just don't have anything to love here. So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. What did you guys think of this album? Please let me know down below. Also, I want to take this second to say thank you all so much for 100 subscribers. I wanted to do some kind of special, but I felt like if I did it, it would end up being like a month late, and I didn't want to wait that long. So I'm just saying it here, and I might end up dedicating a video. We'll see what comes to my mind. But yeah, seriously guys, thank you guys so much for every single one of you who have ever clicked on a video of mine. It means the world to me, seriously. That's amazing, 100 subscribers. And even then, I've got 2.6 thousand, I think, on one of my videos, and that's crazy to me. Seriously, thank you all so much. I'm so glad you like it. And for those of you who continue to come back, tell me what you think. Leave me albums that you'd like me to check out, either past ones I might not review, but I could give you some feedback just personally, or if you have any that's coming out soon that you'd like me to put on my schedule, because half the time I just kind of choose an album. I don't really have any logic behind why I choose them. I just choose one. So please, if you have any suggestions, please let me know, and I will make sure I get to that when it comes out. If there's anything I can do to improve the quality of these videos, also let me know. But seriously, thank you all so much. It means the world to me. Besides that, thank you. I'll see you guys later.